Nagyon szépen köszönöm a bemutatást.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, good morning, everybody. I'm gonna tell you about the results of now 4-year-long research project on cover cropping. Why do we need to learn about this? What I have seen is that in the past couple of decades, the intense cover cropping seemed to be significantly compromise viticultural resilience and sustainability, and this all results in a deterioration of soil conditions and diminishing ecosystem services, and at the same time, weather conditions are becoming increasingly extreme, and this all escalates the problems in this area. So now there are available grant funds and subsidies available to use cover cropping. If you want to become eligible to certain subsidies, cover cropping must be used in slopes steeper than 12%, and at least some sort of mulching or sowing monocarpic cover crops must be used in the alleys between the rows of vines in vineyards, for instance. Here you can use grassing or use cover cropping, and these can all help improve the soil conditions to some extent, or protect the soil at least. Our institution, ÖMKE, believes that we need to develop a method that can be the most effective in this respect, that can help improve the sustainability of the ecosystem services. In 2017, we developed 3 different seed mixtures, and we tested 22 different species. And in 2017, we created the so-called living cover mixture, and we also reworked the EcoWin mixture, which is another well-known seed mixture in the market. Here in this slide, you can see the composition of the living cover mixture. It includes wild carrot and ribgrass and other species, a total of 6. And here in this slide, you can see how widespread these species are. They are all very widely grown in the whole country. So wherever you plant these plants, it will create a proper cover in your vineyards. And in 2020, we got the opportunity open for us to obtain some grant funds for a project to test this new mixture. And we did the research at 6 different locations, 3 in the Eger wine region and 3 in the Tokaj wine region. And I will continue referring to these sites as E1-3 and TE1-3. And we sowed the seeds in the autumn of 2020 or the spring of 2021. And in this slide, you can see the first results. And from 2021 to 2024, we assessed the cover of these species, the vascular species, in 4 1-by-4 meter quadrats, and we wanted to see the percentage of cover of each species. And the funny thing was that this mixture behaved differently between the two different wine regions. What I like to point out to you is that what you can see in the Tokai region, these are the the first three diagrams show these. These are the Tokai sites. And the second one, that shows the 2022 drought-stricken year, and the three Tokai sites, the cover of the percentage of cover dropped almost to zero. The mixture got dry, so we had to replant the cover crops in the T2 sites. T3 plants, but in the T2 the vineyard manager couldn't do it on time, and the T3 area we were lucky because there. Because the crop, the mixture didn't dry out completely, it could renew itself, and it reached the percentage of cover by the fourth year that was expected to achieve by the second or third year. In the Eger area, you can see that there was a low percentage of cover of the species in the mixture. Of course, these were still spawns mostly, and until the fourth year, the mixture feels good and it develops very well and grows very well, so it can provide a very long-term solution. The E3 site is the one that is different slightly. That's the odd one out. And when they sowed the seeds there, they didn't do too much plowing, and this probably prevented the crop, the different species grow very fast. But by the third year, they looked pretty nice too, even in that site. We also got a chance of testing other species, and here. We created a new so-called diverse mixture based on the living cover mixture, and we added 13 more species. We took account of various considerations when selecting these species. For me, the most important thing was that these should be new species that had not been tested before 2012. And our objective was to make the most diverse, most colorful cover crop and create a vegetation that attracts all the benign bugs into the vineyards. We sold this mixture a year later in autumn of 2021 and early spring 2022. And in fact, we also used 4 square meter quadrats when we assessed the percentage of cover of the various species. But in 2022, we all know it was very dry, and which really prevented some species in the mixture growing very vividly. Still, by the second, third year, we could actually detect we could see a nice cover of most species. The percentage of cover is a little less in this mixture than what we could see from the living cover mixture, but it was still acceptable cover. And what happened here is that just like with the living, 2022 was a year that was just too much for most species in the mixture. However, it is worth mentioning that to mention some of the species that add an extra color to the mixture here, because the dark color, that's the living crop cover of percentage of cover, and if you add these up, the light green color is what the diverse mixture species add. 40% of the percentage of cover was made up by the added species, the newly added species. But their presence in the alley between the vines was only about 4 to 5%. So the only exception was the area T1, and here you see this very big high area of high percentage of one of the new species, which was actually a corn poppy, and that for some reason really fed very well. And then it was we plowed the site, and then we removed the corn poppy from that mixture completely. And I'll show you some results of relating to how the cover crop and the mixture of the species in the vineyards impacted certain parameters of the grapevine and the resulting wines. And we could sometimes it was very sometimes the parcel we used for this test was just too heterogeneous for the cover crops to effectively impact the quality of the grapes grown there. There's a Furmint planting and a Merlot. I think the T3 area and the E1. T3 is a Furmint planted site, and E3 they have Merlot there. And we basically counted the number of clusters on each on 20 vines, and we measured one average size cluster as well. It's difficult. You can see that here. It's the dark green color shows what was the percentage of the yield was, the grape yield was from the difference between the control. So here in the T1 2021, it was close to the same. It was 100% to 93%. In the very hot and dry 2022 vintage, it dropped way below the control. And then in 2024, we measured 100% again. So compared to the control site. And if you use the diverse, but here there's a bigger fluctuation, and we're not certain what might have caused this. The on-farm partners do these tests. Maybe a different team pruned the vines in that area. This I'm not sure that this result means anything really. And when it comes to the Merlot, that where we used living crop, living cover mixture, there was no difference between the yield in the control area and the cover crop area, and they did a yield cluster thinning, a bunch thinning in 2024. That's why it was much less. In the diverse mixture, the difference was not so big. If you look at some parameters of the grape juice, it's difficult to identify any certain trends here. Just like in the vineyard and the yield, we measured reducing sugar and titrable acidity in the juice from these various sites, and even the grape varieties can respond to what types of species are in their vicinity in the cover crop mixture. My gut feeling is that normally grapes develop less sugar and retain higher acidity if you have cover crops between the alleys, between the vines, but this is also doesn't happen the same way every year. So you can't really draw any real consequences from this. But the main message of all this is that in soils of good water retention, mostly with clay content, living mixture the living cover mixture performed very well, even in the drought-stricken years of 2022. But in soils that don't retain water that well, we may need a different mixture with species that are more resistant to dry weather conditions. And we were able to detect most species, but some were only present in very small volumes. And the questions you need to ask, which species you should really add into the mixture. You need to optimize your mixture very carefully to get the best value, so that you can actually pay for this, and it should really work. We do not think that we should increase biodiversity to such extent. It doesn't make sense sometimes. But we found some promising species. I like to point out 3 of these. These are the common yarrow, Viper's bugloss, and perennial flax. These are the 3 species that work very well. And if you want to get some biodiversity, these can really work very well. And even in city parks, these species can really thrive. Relating to impacts on yield and the quality of the grape juice, there's no clear picture we can identify. Yes, in drought-stricken vintages, you may lose 10 to 20% of your yield in a vineyard where you have cover crops. If it's a good vintage with sufficient rainfall, this loss maybe around is limited to 5%. There's no clear impact on the sugar content and acidity content of the grape juice from vineyards where you have cover crops. We need to continue doing more tests to get a clear picture in this respect. I'd like to thank all the participating wineries that are involved in this, and all the people listed in this slide, and all the organizations